Here's a clever little lock that I've never seen done before in Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. It's called a forearm lock. Let's say his shoulder hits the ground. I did something wrong. What I want to do is I want to insert my leg, but now here's the trick. I don't want to insert it into the crook of his elbow. Okay? It's not where this lock is going. I'm going to insert it where the muscle mount here meets, where it starts to flare out. This is where I want my bone to go, my ankle or my shin bone. Okay? Now I want the camera to pick up the immense stress that his arm is going to be under. It's literally going to be bowed. I could break his arm right at that point. You can actually compound fracture this arm. So what I'm doing is putting it right there. Okay, not down into the crook. Right here. I'm pulling this way and I'm going to drive my foot forward as I'm pulling back on his arm. Now watch the flexion. This is taking almost no effort. To make it even more secure, I would drive forward. If the camera can pan back a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm here and I'm driving forward off of this leg as I'm securing his arm at the wrist. And I'm using nothing right now. If I blew through this, we're going to have some severe arm injuries here. So again, maybe I'm in the head and arm and his shoulder got to the ground. I'm going to immediately go to here, right on that muscle mound, and drive forward. It's a very secure hold, or a severe hold, but I'm making sure that I'm still secure here. Okay? If he rolls into me, roll in. It's pretty futile. Be careful with this one especially. Okay? Now, you can put your foot into the crook and make almost like a short arm scissor kind of motion. We'll cover this one now. I don't find this one as effective. I find this more of a concession hold where he's going to give in to pain, whereas the other one is an actual hook that's going to break his arm. What I did here was I inserted it deep, my ankle, all the way into the crook. Again, I'm pulling up and I like to sandwich it. Okay, and what you couldn't see was that I'm almost trying to cross my legs. I'll do it from a rear angle. Let's get some more, buddy. Okay, and that's what's giving the incredible pressure here. I'm crossing my legs. Now, back to the original position, please. Even as I crossed my legs, I was still driving this right foot forward. That's the whole point. Pressure going into that forearm. So I was like this. I'm relieving the pressure now. It's really ungodly. Notice my subtle shifts. That right there is what's getting the job done. Okay? These principles are extremely important to understand. For example, in a scurry, we're scampering on the mat. Maybe I'm in an upper four corner lateral press kind of a position. I'm fighting, his arm is here. I'm going to use the same principle that I just applied. I'm going to bring it here in this direction, okay, and break his arm. So my advice is this. Learn the understanding principles, the underlying principles. Learn to understand them. In both of these locks, the principle is I inserted something and I was driving that insertion forward as I was pulling back. Hooking is based on basically three principles. Push, pull, twist, if at all possible. This puts the body, again, as I got to keep on reiterating, in its most unnatural state. We're not used to having differing forces against our body at all times, okay? So this is what we want to do. So again, in these locks, no matter where I'm at, even if I'm here, right here, boom, it's a done deal. I'm driving forward. Notice I start up here and I'm shifting down as I'm pulling up. It's never just I'm not pulling up. I'm shifting down, driving as I'm pulling up. That's the key to making these holds work. Okay? So we'll recap again. We have the forearm lock, which is up against the muscle mound. I pull in and I drive forward. We have a short arm scissor with both legs there, and then we can do this also from the ground, forearm lock. And those are 3 seldom, if ever seen, submissions from the head and arm position.